Hello, everybody. So it is the morning. It was a weird night's sleep for me and for Hannah. A part of it is this room is eerily quiet, and also I kept having weird dreams, like dreams about how there were things we needed to do for the holiday or the trip. So I kind of, from my perspective, woke up at 5:30, but it's now 10 past 8. And yeah, we went to bed at 10 p.m. So yeah, between 10 p.m. and 8, we definitely got some sleep, maybe not a huge amount. And yeah, we've got breakfast. And then the thing is, so basically, a guy said that they actually do tours around the Abbey. So I'm going to see if I can ask someone about that. And if we can do that, we might as well do that. And apart from that, we're then taking the bus to Caledon Castle Park, which is like a castle ruin that's also a park. Then we are having a brunch. We're going down to the Charterhouse Priory and then London Road Cemetery. And then we're heading back up to the Coventry Transport Museum. We're staying there for the rest of the time. We're getting there at 2:30 and we're staying there until 5 because apparently there's lots to see there. We'll see. Both our feet still hurt a little bit, which is not great because we've been off our feet for, I worked out 15 hours. 15 hours off our feet because we're basically after 5:30, it was just bus rides, sitting in a restaurant, Uber, getting here, being on our bed. There wasn't long periods of walking around, and yet still our feet hurt, so I'm not sure. We'll see what we end up doing. Yeah, I got to clean my teeth. Yeah, asked them about the thingy. I'm not sure whether or not we'll be able to do the tour today, but yeah, I'll ask them about it. Hey, Hannah.
Hello.
We just had breakfast. It was good. I mean, it was a nice atmosphere, which I didn't film it because, but I'll film it tomorrow probably, just to give an idea of how it looks. Then we went to the reception, and basically they don't do the guided tours thing, but they did give me some information. They gave me a map, and they gave me a little fact sheet, which I'm probably going to peruse in the evening when I'm going to relax. Yeah, okay, so we're probably just going to go for a walk. And then we'll probably come back here, charge the camera, and then think about heading out to Caledon Castle. So we'll probably pick a quick walk. So we have, by the way, packed up. I mean, okay, this is admittedly a dressing gown, which should probably get hung up. But apart from that, I've got all of my stuff hung up here. And in here, in this wardrobe, and fruit there. And this is outside. Little courtyard area. Little turret there. Whoa!
What's the password?
I love you, Hannah.
Come on in.
Right, so just going to be adding some additional commentary for some of the stuff I didn't speak about on camera. Firstly, yeah, this was basically us walking around the hotel, and I would say it was actually kind of a highlight of the trip.
Mm-hmm.
Because, ultimately, I mean, the hotel was very fancy. And, obviously we were spending money to be there. So it was nice to actually take it in and look at all the stuff.
And this is the hotel we're staying at. So yeah, they just have a little seating area outside here. And yeah, it's interesting, sitting there. All right, we'll head down those stairs and yeah, see where we end up going. These people have nice little things about plants outside their room.
There was also a sense of exploring, especially with some of the rooms and areas which we weren't sure whether or not we technically should have gone into. That was a nice little adventure.
Yeah, I liked that too.
Yeah, especially when I nearly knocked everything over. Fancy doing a wet. Oh, I just had like imagining for like I spun around in my backpack, knocked over something. But no, I'm conscious of that. It's not going to happen. Right. So we're probably just going to explore whatever inside rooms we can explore. Why not? Oh, might be about. Oh no, get a little sneaky peek again. Whoa. We think we're in a place where some people are having a conference, and we fully expect to run into them at some point. What's in there? Oh, danger. The one downside of being able to sneak around so much is that it was because there was no one around, so I wasn't able to find some information for a few of the curiosities I discovered and I did want to know more about. So yeah, I just had to piece it together in my brain. Oh, look at this. Well, if there is not information on this, I will have to find somebody to ask. I mean, it's obviously going to be some religious guy. And finally, of course, there's the fact that we got to see lots of different birds, which is always
a plus, right?
Always what you want on this channel.
There's a swan.
Yeah.
Very far away. And a little nest. I've never seen a swan in a nest like that before.
Yeah,
It's really interesting. And I'm also interested in the weird gate thing there. Oh, heron, yeah. There's a view from there. Oh! Drakes, I believe. What are they called? There's the swan again. Different angle. So, I think we just did a... yeah. We ended up exactly where we started. Which I think, yeah, we probably just need to go back. So we're roughly heading in a circuit around the abbey, not trying to stray too far away from it. But I think if we see, we're not really using the map, so if we find anything else that looks like interesting along the way, we're probably going to head down there. But it might be the case that we end up just going on a few dog legs and dead ends. For example, in fact, there's another potential dog leg here. But we'll see.
Oh, cute.
There are rabbits here, which is nice. And, oh, disappeared.
Because, yeah, we walked around the grounds as well as walking around the interior of the hotel. And, yeah, definitely the most interesting hotel I've walked in and around in my life.
Me too.
This is the end of the West Terrace. And it says danger deep water, but that does not look like deep water. Yeah. Honestly, my feet would love to get a little soak in that. This used to be owned by, well, an abbot, I guess, and then when the monasteries were dissolved in the Reformation, good riddance, it got, changed into private property, and now it's public property, so that's fab. Everybody wins. Although, yeah, it's a bit weird because it says it's owned by the kind of it implied it was owned by some part of Coventry's infrastructure or whatever. But that makes me wonder who the money goes to when you actually stay the night there. There it is. I'm becoming increasingly aware of the fact that I've been here before and recognizing more of it, which does mean when we found out, of course, that you couldn't get the guided tour, that was a disappointment of sorts. But I find it okay knowing that I actually already got a guided tour the last time I was here. And I don't really remember it, so I'm not sure. This is I guess a special place for us now, isn't it? And it's like our first proper kind of holiday together, organised, by ourselves. So I think we'll have to go here at some point. Maybe even stay here again at some point. I mean, the plan for next time we go to Coventry, which will be years from now, because I don't want to, there are so many other places to see. But the plan for next time we go to Coventry was to stay in the cottages, which are more expensive, but just because that sounds nice. And hopefully we'll be better off financially at that point. I think we'll just go up here. But yeah, maybe at some other point, possibly, maybe we'll even visit somewhere else in the West Midlands, and we might be able to justify staying here again, or maybe we'll just stay here for one night just to stay here. That seems like a special anniversary kind of thing to do.
Yeah.
Spoilers. Anyway, right. So the plan is to walk around a bit, take in a bit of the ambiance, and see if we can discover a way to that kind of, garden place we were looking at earlier. And in doing so, also, of course, establish a route back to, inside the Abbey, and then we'll work out heading into Coventry. There are some gravestones. So we have had to take a slightly more circuitous route to get back, but is what it is. I don't know how this is going to affect, we're deciding to probably take an Uber because we have to wait almost an hour to get the bus, and there's not really much point waiting around for an hour doing nothing. So yeah, we'll get an Uber, and we might still try and get a bus from the park itself. We might cross over here actually, just save some time. And I'm thinking possibly a walk around in the evening, which I believe we're entitled to do, which will be lovely. And I, for one, am very excited. Okay, so we just walked into Caledon Castle Park.
Alright.
Up and away.
So yeah, we did end up getting an Uber, but didn't really film any of the journey. So we basically just jumped straight to this park, which is a park centered around a big castle ruin, which was quite an interesting setting for a park, I think.
Yeah.
I expected you to, I said, let's go on that thing. Oh, look, it's a dog. For a minute I thought it was a big cat, which is stupid of me. Yeah, okay, we're just coming up on the castle. So don't get too excited. It's a ruin. But how many castle ruins does one typically see?
Not many.
So yeah, the park is not big, I don't think. So we'll probably just do a little circuity thing. There's a moat around the castle, but there also seems to be some info. And then there's a better shot of the castle. Probably get a better one even after that. And also there is a playground with a fun little swing. So we'll probably do that and then just start figuring to head home. And I'm gonna sit down while I read this. Right. Definitely plenty of info. Gonna try and read it while sat down, like I say. Okay, so we just read all about the park while being able to sit down, or all about the castle. And the interesting thing is that it was the first house that was moated, had a home farm and a deer park in all of England. The first person to ever get a house and a farm and a deer park and think, let's put a big thing of water around it to stop people attacking. And apparently in the English Civil War it was never besieged, so maybe they did a good job. Also, Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream was written about, or inspired by, possibly, a wedding by the Berkeley family who owned the castle. So that's also interesting. But then eventually, as you can see, it kind of deteriorated. There is not much of it left. And now it's kind of, public property or whatever. Actually, it seems to be owned by the same people who now own Combe Abbey, which is interesting. Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think these things just fall apart. It was still being used even in the 1800s, but now it's just a wall of rubble. Anyway, we'll probably get a little bit closer to it just to see it, and then might sit down and I'll look at the bus timetables. A lot of graffiti. Ah, it's not. What's that? Okay. Well, everybody, we're back in Coventry, and we're going to go get lunch, and we're a bit late because bus drivers are stupid. And basically, for some reason, they've got this new rule. Well, I don't know what the rule is, like what it is, but apparently you can't pay for 2 tickets with 1 card, and Hannah's cards don't really work contactless, except one time they did, so I'm not sure what's happening there. The whole thing is bizarre. They don't give you change, so it's a good thing I had a £1 coin on me. Well, so yeah, it was supposed to be £2.20, I gave them £2.50. The whole thing's nonsense, we're just getting Ubers from now on, basically, is the conclusion. And yeah, we're just hopefully going to get to the bar at a reasonable time. Monkey Tower, statue. Wow, oh look at those old buildings. Nice and Caribbean. Got the jerk in Connor. Original hot pepper sauce. This is my jerk chicken and Hannah's jerk salmon. Do you feel like a right jerk?
I really do.
Looks tasty.
It's not coming off.
Oh no.
There's sauce on your face.
Sauce
you
is the
dirty
boss.
boy. All right, there we go.
Okay. So we just ate at the Caribbean place. It was nice.
Delish.
Tasty. So that's the council house, which opens to visitors on special days, but today is not a special day. Right, so we're walking down to Charterhouse Priory, and then I saw a gate, a bit like the gates we saw yesterday, which was on my list of things to see, and we were going to see it tomorrow, but obviously it's literally just a stop off and check it out thing, not some like explore it in extreme detail thing. And therefore it doesn't really make a difference whether we stop here now or here tomorrow. All that's cost us is that slight detour from walking along here, which, let's be honest, in the grand scheme of detours is not very much. I think it's called Whitefriars Gate, and if I don't correct myself, yeah, okay, I'm getting agreement it's called Whitefriars Gate.
I saw a sign.
Oh, okay, yep, there we go. So it is Whitefriars Gate. Thank you, Hannah.
Yeah, I saw a sign for Whitefriars Museum,
Yeah.
so I'm assuming this would be the same
Well, this
thing.
is well. I think it's I think this whole area might be called Whitefriars, which means that this gate is, of course, also called Whitefriars. City Centre Trail. It says, boom, there it is. And I don't think there's anything interesting written around it. It's just a pretty grubby-looking old gate, but it exists. Isn't that what matters? Yeah, it does not look. But I don't know, Coventry, they need to work on it. They've totally screwed themselves there. Okay, so we're just walking along, and then I looked and I saw an old grotty looking thing, and I was like, saying that, so this is the Whitefriars Monastery, and I think that this is the Whitefriars Museum, even though there literally is not a museum associated with it. It's just a random old broken down building with like graffiti everywhere. I mean, look, it's an old monastery. I think in a way, I razz Coventry for having completely neglected the actual legitimate claim to an interesting history. And of course, in some cases, they've actually leaned into it, but a lot of times they clearly haven't leaned into particular history. But there is something interesting and novelty to seeing an actual history that's just been totally neglected. Just like, you have this old monument like right in the middle of your town, and you just surround it by a bunch of ugly motorways, some gross looking high rises, and you just let everyone graffiti all over it. It's almost respectable. And yeah, I don't think there's going to be anything interesting apart from just the novelty of look at how old and, you know, culturally interesting it looks, but also look at how gross and broken down it looks. And I assume you literally can't possibly entertain the idea of going in there. In fact, I think you can't even look through the windows. Let's confirm that. That does not look, yeah, it's wood. There is an information board. There's no way you can go into it. Let's see. No. Right, we're going to read the information board. This is also, by the way, reaffirming my thing about actually everything seeming closer together than it is. The fact that we've managed just to accidentally run into things which are on the list of stuff to do is kind of cool, because it's like, alright, so when we actually get around to doing stuff, we're going to be basically okay. Nope, I thought it was going to be... Alright, so there is information. I mean, this is interesting. So there is an information board, so they clearly care enough to do that. I think that is what it used to look like, I guess. The Whitefriars would have been 1440. And that's it now. Interesting. Anyway, now we'll cross that bridge and then, yeah, actually head to where we want to go. And we'll see what there is there. And I think we can just walk straight along there. So, that there is the cemetery we're supposed to be going to. This wasn't too long of a, I mean, you know, it wasn't too long of a walk when you consider the fact that we stopped in like some unnecessary places, which again, means that we won't have to do that tomorrow, so, you know, that's nice. Yeah, it wasn't really too long of a walk, to be honest. And yeah, so it's the next left turn, and then back will be easy, I think, so good stuff. See what the Coventry Priory is actually like. I can see a little sign for it, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see what it's like. I think it will be nice. Ah, okay, let's cross. So, Hannah and I, in various places, have been seeing these like seemingly quite perfectly spherical and quite three-dimensional balls in trees. And we have no idea what they are. Like, obviously, yeah, it would make sense they're a nest, but look at like the size of that one. It's like bigger than the tree. Like, what lives in there? So, I'm gonna try and get up there. Strongly looks as if there's not really any ability to get in. Okay, so we're gonna do poo sticks here and watch it come out of here. It's a nice park area. Sorry I couldn't show us dropping them, but I'm scared enough holding my camera over a river without doing it one-handed, so... Especially seeing as I'd probably drop with the wrong hand if I would have said. I'm probably not going to film it until they appear, because otherwise I'd be filming for quite a while, because it's quite a slow, meandering river. I reckon that was about a tie, but now mine is taking the lead, so there we go. And Hannah's is... I can't even see Hannah's. Oh, there are Hannah's. Boom. And mine is slightly more visible. Oh, there it is.
Mine's catching up.
Oh wow, it's getting exciting. Oh wait, that's not the Priory. Looks like we're gonna have to go, I'm kind of hoping we can go around there and then return back. It does say Heritage Fund. Oh, okay. That implies that the that it's being funded to be built up. Which is great. Couldn't have been quicker with that, could they? Right, so I didn't really, there was a sign but I couldn't really read it because, yeah, so it's basically being renovated for City of Culture 2021, because in 2021, Coventry was the City of Culture. Thing is, yeah, you kind of missed the boat there, didn't you? So, I don't know. At some point, I guess, yeah, we'll have to, that's going to be something else we kind of return back to. But now we can kind of head over to London Road Cemetery. I am a little bit interested in seeing if just by crossing across the field we can actually investigate the cause of that massive tower, but otherwise, yeah, we'll just head straight over to the cemetery. Sure is open a while till 9 PM. London Road Cemetery, Arboretum. Okay, and there it is. Yeah, I think this was a nice choice of place to come to. You know how much I'm mad for cemeteries, so wow.
The cemetery is like way more involved than I thought it would be. There's like different trails, and like apparently it was designed by a landscape gardener or whatever, and he like came up with this specific design to use the landscape of the former quarry to his advantage. It's pretty interesting. There's the World War I monument, which I imagine, I'm not sure how you would get there, and I don't think we're going to try to get there because it seems a bit difficult, and there's loads to explore. I'm kind of expecting this to end up being an unexpected highlight. Hannah hasn't got any sun cream on, because it looks incredible. And also there's like these little information things which I just realised, so there's like 9 of them, so they're going to be interesting to look at. In fact, I can see one over there. So yeah, I just find that interesting, like these big, it's just probably the most incredible cemetery I've ever seen. Based on, well, I don't know, I mean, based on what I can see of it so far. And I'm not saying that I'm some kind of cemetery connoisseur who's seen loads of incredible cemeteries, so just, you know, bear that in mind, but still. So this is called the Nonconformist Chapel because it's for Protestants who did not conform to the Church of England. Overall, I thought the cemetery was very interesting. It was like a botanical garden with all of like the different trees and flowers and all that kind of stuff, like the kind of landscaping. But then also on top of that, because of all of the different people buried there was kind of that information aspect to it as well. So I thought it was real fun.
Yeah, it was probably the biggest cemetery I've ever been in. Possibly. But yeah, it was really interesting how they like combined, you know, not only being a cemetery, but also had other things to look at and learn about as well. So made it more well-rounded. Yes,
yeah. And it was definitely worth being, I think, the longest we walked to get to anything in Coventry. I don't know. Anyway, so we actually accidentally stumbled across these things which are explaining some of the different famous people who are buried here. And we're not going to look for all of them because I just don't think we can justify it in terms of the time. But if we see any more, we'll look at them. That one was for a guy who was one of England's greatest prize fighters. William, was that his name? What was his name, Hannah?
William Gill.
William Gill. I was going to call him Gilliam Will. Anyway, so yeah, that was that. And now we're just kind of try and head around, and yeah, if we see another one, we'll read it. We won't necessarily report on it. Here's another shot of the graveyard. Cemetery. I wonder if there's a difference. Look, it's Hannah. What's even more spooky is it's my name, Jabez. Yeah, Jabez. Whoa, big building. That is the Anglican chapel. So there should be an explanation of it somewhere, but I'll just read it out when I'm not going to film myself reading it. Okay, so I'm not certain, but I'm pretty sure that is, yep, Wombwell. That is the grave of somebody who was mauled to death. Well, 2 people. One was attacked by an elephant, presumably trampled, and the other one was mauled to death by a lion because they worked in the circus. So that's the kind of things, I guess, like, you know, obviously that's not a famous person, but I guess it's just like the intrigue of their death is what warrants them having a monument there, which is fun. Right, so we're in this lovely area. Oh, there's Jesus. Not his, you know, just the crucifix. We're in this lovely area, and we found the grave of James Starley, who when we were first here, we found one of the first things we saw was the monument to him, the inventor of the bicycle. 2 things. Firstly, actually 3 things. That's a massive tree, which I'm just floored by, and this is the grave of George Singer, who was an industrialist, and that's interesting. But what's really interesting, I think, is that the company he founded, their football club,
went on to become Coventry Football Club. So that's crazy. I mean, that's happened with other things, you know, but like the West Hammers, those Hammers. Actually, that's not true. I think they're called the Hammers because for a minute I think they were working with anvils, but maybe it's a coincidence. Anyway, the important thing is that we're just doing a final circuity thing up there and around, and then we're out. And we've definitely slightly overstayed. Oh, there's another info about somebody. But yeah, I mean, it's really interesting, so we'll have a look. So we just walked past, I mean, it's right next to me right now, the beer store, which I didn't know that was a thing apart from alcohol, but it turns out it's basically a thing, you know, like a cart basically that you just move to remove or move around the coffins. So yeah, that makes sense. Now we're coming up back past where we already were. There are no interesting dead people. Maybe there'll be some up here. I mean, tell you what there is. A massive, great big monument. So this is, oh wow. So this is the guy who made the funeral. Sorry, the cemetery. So yeah, I'll read that in a second, but this is, so if you build a cemetery, this is the gravestone you get at the end of it. Pretty huge. Anyway, I'll go check out that just real quick. So, we just read about the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Paxton. And basically he was a real cool architect, did all sorts. But okay, so this is the first municipal graveyard in the country. And I think municipal, again, would mean like not associated with a church. Like that's my assumption. I don't really know what municipal means, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, so whatever municipal means, this was the first graveyard of such nature. Oh, civilian war grave. Oh, so this is probably the thing where, assuming that's actually accurate to this place, this is presumably where, somewhere around here, is where all of the people who died in the Blitz were buried. Interesting. I guess this must be where the caretaker lives. Curious. Or something. Huh. So that's the tower where they would have looked out for the funerals coming so they could prepare. And that's where the graveyard superintendent would live. And maybe still does, it's not clear. And now we are very much out into Coventry. It's like leaving a wonderland and entering Coventry. That was interesting. And I think we're heading there. Look at those funky rusty things. There's the cathedral again. There's a random grave. Oh, it's working now. I literally just blew on it. Okay, had a minor panic attack there because we just ran out of battery on one card, so I inserted my second card, and just gonna read this in a second. Yeah, so that's the second card, and then so it didn't work, but now all I need to do is blow on it, and now it works. You okay? Lichgate Cottages. These are, you can stay in them. And that is what we want to do at some point. It's one of our goals. So we're going through West Orchard because it's the only part of the city centre we haven't gone through. Also, by the way, it is a good thing that we ran out of battery, except it stopped me filming one thing, but something I'll have an opportunity to film later. Or rather, ran out of data. It's because I needed that card to last a day and a half, and it has really lasted more than a day and a half, so fantastic. Yeah, thank you. I was just going to read this and then... Oh, that's cool. Thank you.
So before we went to Coventry, there was something called the Grammar School, but we just happened to be walking past it, and some lady was like, hey, do you want to go in? So we did, and it didn't, add too much onto the day because I think there was only like, it was just the one room with a load of random stuff in it. Not a highlight by any means, but it was an extra thing.
Yeah, it was something.
Yes.
So this place shouldn't have been open according to my planning, and yet it is, which is, the opposite to what you'd usually expect. I don't really know what all this stuff is, so I'm gonna give it a quick read, but probably not film much of it, just because it ultimately is just a big building, but it's old and historic, and that's interesting. So
We're in the Coventry Transport Museum. It's quite big. It's kind of empty. And it costs £31 to get in here. But the good news is that we can come back tomorrow. So if we don't feel like we got our money's worth, we can come back, which is kind of nice. So first thing in the museum was this exhibition on like women in sport, which I didn't film at all, but there was like a massive literal wall of text, which I began to start reading and then slowly realized I would not be able to read really any of it at all unless, if we wanted to do anything else for the rest of the day. So then we just played around with some toys. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, I think you overtook me that time, did you?
Did I?
I thought you did at the end.
I think it at the same time.
It was the city's biggest industry. Coventry was the cycle capital of the world.
So they used to only have pedals on the front, and they were called bone shakers, probably because they didn't have proper tyres, which wouldn't have been nice. I'm hoping at some point it will explain why the penny farthing appeared, because they started with normal bikes where the wheels were the same size, and then they changed to this, and I don't know why they thought that was better. So I did end up finding out why they had penny farthings. It allowed the bike to travel a greater distance. The big wheel would spin all the way around, and because there was more circumference, it would send you a greater distance. Why don't they just have massive wheels, just a wheel the size of the earth? Then you'd only need to push the pedals once, and you'd, circumnavigate the globe. So they've suddenly gone to having chains, and it hasn't really explained why. And then, well, there is a chain there, but I don't know why. But then there is no chain at all, and there's a chain in a random place. This is a little exhibition about rational dress, so that women could dress in a way where they can actually do things rather than nothing.
In the long skirts and tight bodices that were then in fashion.
We're now getting to a point where the bicycles just look like regular bicycles. Oh, something about engineering heritage. Yeah, that's just, if you ask me, that's just a bicycle. There is a little sidecar for the kids, and there's a tandem bicycle. And a bicycle made for two. This is a good way to go for a cycle ride. That's way better than a tandem. You can be way more friendly. Give us your little kisses. I mean, but you can get more people on this tandem. So this would have been used for unions to put all the money in, so if someone was sick, they could get sick leave. And now we're into step 2. So bye-bye bikes. That's a pretty massive car. That's the kind of car they drive in America nowadays. There's some of these are just bikes. Like, I don't know why they're in the car section and not in the bike section. And why are some of the motorbikes in here, in that section? Oh, it's all a bit weird. I don't think there's anything you can do to, but I think if I'm right, I win. I get to choose my vehicle. Where's my bike? Okay, I guess motor car's the fastest. Oh, bike fell off. So yeah, these are the stats. If you're a gamer out there. Lots of other cars around here. And some more bikes. Here's some useful stuff for inflation. Average annual salary went from £70 to £26,500. And yearly rent was £15 versus £4,800. So okay, interesting. Oh, and this is all about different people's situations. So I think this is that which was used for the army to cycle into battle, which is fun. And these are all the cars they don't want you to see. War is coming. Hey Hannah, why is your face so yellow?
I don't know.
Is it because you've been putting TNT in some bombs? So this guy was German, and because of that lots of people didn't like him, but he actually still made weapons and army stuff for the British Army anyway. I do want to read this. Siegfried Bettman's personal scrapbook. So this is the guy who, Siegfried Bettman is his name. And where was that memorial raised? London Road, Coventry. And wait, there it is. Yeah, okay, so that's it. Okay, so we jumped ahead a bit because they were getting close to closing, so we want to be towards the end when they close. But we're going to go back tomorrow and look through what we didn't look through in detail. So according to this, most of Britain's cars had to be exported after World War II to pay off the debt from the war. I think that might be a write-off.
And in 1956, it finally overtook the UK. Still, the British...
Usain Bolt, Cheetah, Suzuki, Peregrine Falcon. Oh wow, that's kind of crazy. A Peregrine Falcon is faster than like a Suzuki motorbike. Formula One car, Venom GT, Eurocopter. That's hello, US Air Force, NASA New Horizons spacecraft, and Halley's Comet. And okay, yeah, so this is all about speed. I guess that's a record-breaking car. It's the rocket from The Simpsons.
As long as I've got my health and my millions of dollars and my gold house and my rocket car, I don't need anything else.
There are some big cars. Big cars. And then that baby car. This car here is currently being used in South Africa. Well, not currently, but is trying to be used to break the new speed record. Mogadishu, Nairobi, Aroni, Maput. Here we are. Oh, and I think that's a little monument thing over there. This is the statue of Frank Whittle, which is important because we heard about Frank Whittle at the Farnborough Air Museum. There's the garden again. And there's that bridge, which I don't think we're ever going to have a reason to use. So we're heading to the canal just to chill. In theory there's also a park, which I was thinking about heading to, but again, just to chill, so I don't know. Then we're heading down to the Indian restaurant. There is the canal basin. Oh yeah. For a minute I was like, oh look, they have a boat like displayed on the concrete.
Yeah.
Because I thought that was...
I thought so
no,
too.
that's the river. I thought that would be, you know, a place to kind of sit, enjoy the view. Again, Coventry, in its own little way, has disappointed me. Although, again, look at that. Okay, that is actually quite pretty.
Well, yeah, that is nice. Oh, look, there's Coventry.
Yeah, that is actually quite pretty. But, you know, we'd have to walk all the way over there, which actually, now I look at it, we can't walk all the way over there. Oh, look, see, there. That is a statue. You would think, you know, can you see it? It looks like a guy kind of hunched over.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, you'd think you'd be able to see it. There must be a way you can see it, but I don't know. Maybe we'll try and look at it a little bit later. That guy holding the swords was juggling swords. And I would film him doing it, but he's not doing it anymore. And I do not have the data or battery life to be playing around with to just film someone constantly on the off chance they might start juggling swords. Just let it be known he was juggling swords. Oh my god, he just stopped again. So we're in Knowles Mill Park. There's a little lake and a bench, which is an interesting looking bench. Like there are some other benches over there which look a bit, yeah. A lot of things to play on would be fun to some people. Children, that is. There aren't really any like kind of grim looking druggies around, which is nice.
Always a plus.
Yeah, exactly. And there are some ducks behind me managing to survive in that water, even though up there the water really doesn't look particularly pleasant. Do you like it?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit better than the park that we went to before this one.
You mean which one was that? Oh, wait, you mean the park with the castle? Or...
No, the one that's across from the cemetery.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that one wasn't so great. I mean, that one was just, meh. Yeah, it just wasn't much to it. Yeah. This one, yeah, I mean, the trees are nice, everything's nice. I do want to go on that thing. Go sit on it. Ready, Hannah? Whoa! 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 Okay, it's much harder when I'm the one going up for some reason. So, Hannah, how about you inform everybody as to your suffering?
Yeah, so, Michael ended up falling on top of me and crushed my tailbone.
Actually, wait, it would be funner if we both got on the same side. Come here, quick. And away we go!
Whee!
Whoa, oh no, we fell off.
And I was like in pain for like a day or two after that whole incident.
Where's Ducky?
Looks like he's raising his hand. Yeah.
Oh, trying to keep somebody out. Or something in. Look at this veritable jungle. So that's the theatre, which apparently is of note. I mean, it's somewhat pretty, but oh wait, we'll walk around here to look at the monument. A memorial to Brian Bailey, first director. What are you putting on it?
I don't remember what this is.
I think that's just a yogurt sauce.
Oh, okay.
And that's lime pickle. Mango's nice. Mango's the crowd pleaser. What is? It's lamb. Chicken. So apparently this place is very fancy, and they have like meals that are like unique to this restaurant, using like fancy ingredients. Like he just said that they use this vegetable that's called celet, which is only found in Bangladesh. That's where you get the best quality. But yeah, I mostly like it because there's a lot of protein. Having just found out there's no photography allowed. It's so beautiful. Right, so let the record show two things. Firstly, that I'm technically ordering room service because I went to reception, I said, hey, could we get some peppermint tea bags? And she said, sure, I'll send them to your room. And I said, thank you. Which, I mean, I'd say that qualifies as room service, getting something brought to your room. The third interesting thing is that I'm not really remotely close to it. Well, I didn't even get down to half battery on my camera. It's on full battery still. So that's good. And I'm so thankful that the memory card thing worked when it looked like it was going to screw up. So that's great. Then I want us to hang out. I want us to hang out outside just drinking some peppermint tea, which would be nice too. So yeah, it should be a fun old time. Alright. Bye. There's some bunnies. As I mentioned, we just found out that you aren't actually allowed to film without expressed approval. This is the kind of thing, see, which if, sorry I do my occasional little burpee things, but which, if we were epic, big, huge travel vloggers, we would be able to get approval. We'd say, hey, we're the big vloggers, okay, is it alright if we do something? Yeah, sure, no problem. Look at this. I mean, isn't that beautiful, Hannah?
It is beautiful.
You can't argue that. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that, it's pretty blurry for some reason. I don't quite know why. So I'm just not even going to bother. Yeah, eventually I'm sure it will unblur. But yeah, pretty sure that there's a path down there which is the right path, and we just need to walk around there. I think the bugs are making my camera not be able to focus. Oh my lord, you can really pick them up. Yes, this is what happens in the evening with water.
Yeah, it's interesting how you can't tell that we're in pain, but
Yes.
we very much were. So
Yeah, I do enjoy looking back on it in hindsight and being able to just pretend I wasn't.
yeah, it's like, oh, we're just having such a nice time, such a
Yeah.
nice stroll. But then you remember, oh no, our legs and feet were on fire. So
Yeah. Is it heron? Yeah, this is lovely.
I feel like I'm pregnant. This is how wobbly I have to look.
That's pretty. I don't think there's much to be gained from going down there, but it's pretty too. Even in nice lakes, they still have lots of gross algae. There's the heron. Oh, that might be a map, which is fantastically useful if it is. Right, because somebody forgot his map. Let the record show that we're there. We're going to go up here, around there, to the bird hide, and then along there. Which looks, yeah, pretty nice. We can go back and still enjoy the last of the twilight with a peppermint tea outside, and then should I tell them what the plan is after that? It's a bit naughty.
What?
Well, it's a bath. A bath. That is definitely a fox. Yeah, okay. Add that to the wildlife bingo. The fox is gonna get you. They're so cute. See, the reason why I think this was a good thing to do, an especially important thing to do, and we needed to do this, is because going for a walk here in the evening is something which I would imagine you can only do when you're staying the night, you know? Like, whereas, so obviously we could come here anytime, you know, there's a car park and you can just pull in and park up and go for a walk. Not too hard. But specifically, walking here in the evening, and knowing that we've, you know, can actually afford to walk here in the evening without risking getting stranded in the middle of the night, because of course the hotel is literally where we're staying, that's something you can only do when you're staying here. So that's why I think it was important that with our last evening staying here, we did actually go for a walk in the
Flew at me.
oh dear, a walk in the woods. Let's see if we can get any of these bats.
No,
That's-
I don't.
They're not exactly easy to track. Oh, she's hidden.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I can't really see any. Tell you what, it would have been nice if they were out when there were all those bugs around. Yeah, we saw a few bats. Oh dear, I can't just film forever, unfortunately, because I do have limited space. But yeah, bats somewhere. So we actually missed the bird hide area, which is like a bird conservation area, for which again I don't think would have been solved with the map. I think actually the only map that works is Google Maps, but because it shows you all of the routes unlike the map they have. But yeah, basically we missed that, but it's fine because it means we'll be back earlier. And to be honest, yeah, we are losing light, and it would be nice just to have some light, like, you know, I know it's not going to be much, but a little bit of light just to see out the last of the evening with some peppermint tea in the little courtyard area. And tomorrow I'm fancying a substantial walk of the grounds. Yeah, should be fun. And apart from that, well, the rest of tomorrow we actually get some more time to play with because we're not doing the bus. We're never taking, you know, so we're going to have, which is kind of, I don't know, it seems like it might have been nice to catch the bus from outside the Abbey, just because, I don't know, it seems like it would be a cute little place. But the thing is, they don't have, like, if I were them, I would have like a really nice looking bus stop outside the Abbey if they want people to catch the bus there. But no, we'll just get an Uber, which will of course actually take less time, so that's fab. Beautiful. I also think that's kind of interesting. It's all like long grass, but you can't really see it. Oh, and there's some bats. I reckon several people have had the idea of standing here as well as me. Although it's not, you know, you can kind of just see it. Yeah. It is welcoming to see those nice warm lights, but yeah. You can't really see it for the trees. What are you looking for? Oh, in front of us. Yeah. Anyway, this is the back garden. And yeah, that's where we're heading to. Home sweet home. Okay, so we were out enjoying our tea, all that, and it was like really nice sitting out in the kind of garden bit, even though it was kind of dark. Well, it was basically just dark at that point. And then we heard somebody walking along the gravel, like kind of over the other thing. And I sort of just as like a joke was like, hello. And as I said it, the footsteps stopped and they didn't resume. And and that was creepy.
It just seemed like they were just standing there.
Yeah,
like either looking around, watching, or
yeah, we were like, okay, let's.
Or disappeared.
I was like, okay, let's go inside. In fact, you know what? I mean, I'm almost like, let's just use this camera to check for ghosts. I do feel like vlogging gives one a sense of invulnerability because it's kind of like, you know, there's already something else going on. Anyway, that's the end of it. Oh, that's it. So probably going to be the last I record. I'm going to make sure I charge my camera as much as I can. We're not as tired tonight as we were last night. Like so much less tired, and it's so much nicer. And yeah, I do have to give Coombe Abbey credit. They've rejuvenated us entirely.
Yeah.
Hey everybody. It's late at night. Like what is it? It's almost 11:30. Which is way later than we went to sleep last night, but that's because, yeah, it all worked out. I don't know. I think, yeah, like I say, well, I don't know if I said this yet on camera, but because we struggled to get, well, it felt like we slept for a long time, but then we felt tired in the morning. I think we must have overslept because, yeah, I don't feel tired. So therefore, yeah, I think that's why we felt tired in the morning. Anyway, I'm watching Hobbit, The Battle of Five Armies, you know, the not very good one. And Billy Connolly's just rode in on a giant pig. I've muted it so I don't get copyright claimed. It's been a good day, but I'm not trying to think about it too much or tomorrow because, yeah, we want to keep it casual and chill. Alright, good night.
Bye.
I'm not sure. We'll go to bed in just a minute. I'm going to read this thing under light because it seems like it'll be good bedtime reading. It's explaining all about the history of Coombe Abbey. Anyway, but until then, night. I don't know how much B-roll we've got to work with here, so very quickly, thanks for watching, everybody. Please do like, share, and subscribe. It's bye from me.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.